Well, folks, Tiller Bees has some visitors today. We've got at least 2 grown does and one of their offspring with them today. We'll be running them off when I go out to work on the beehive. But it's nice to know there's some wildlife still around here. Hello YouTube viewers and strangers alike. Going to cover a little bit of firing up the bee smoker today. I don't know if there's any controversy involved around that or not, but I think I mentioned in one of my earlier videos that I'm Mr. Cheap. Well, same goes for my smoker fuel. I know there's a lot of products out there for sale. They've got the pellets and chips. A lot of people use burlap and pine cones. Granted, here in Central Virginia we got tons of pine cones, but I also have lots of household trash. So I just use cardboard, but I don't use the glossy cardboard or inked cardboard. I don't like the idea of those chemicals getting into the beehive, so it's just usually ordinary waste paper of some kind, not any of the gloss or chemically treated. It's just good old plain brown cardboard of some kind. Pizza boxes, large cardboard boxes torn into small pieces. I'm using this as kind of a filler today because I'm not going to be doing much with the bees. I was educated today after I posted my video yesterday on the fact that apparently I've fed way too much pollen for my bees. So I'm going to go out there today, pull some of that off. I'm going to need a little smoke to get them off the top of the hive. So not much on the way of smoke today. And that's it. It's a Bic lighter and 3 minutes to fill it and fire it up. So we'll continue this in a moment out at the beehive. Well, here we are at the hive, and it looks as though my girls are really thirsty. That entire bottle was gone in one day. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to fill her up, give them another dose of 1-to-1 sugar water here. Try to keep them happy. Pardon me if I get in the view of the camera. I don't have a cameraman today. Andy's off doing something with his little art thing he does. And this is not really all that serious a problem. So it's just me filling up some sugar water for the girls to eat. I plan on making a feeder box. Hopefully I can get it to where it'll hold a 1-gallon jug. And we won't be doing this as often. So we'll use a little smoke to get them out of the feeder. That kind of cleared them up. Of course, being this time of day, there's going to be quite a few bees in the hive. All the foragers are going to be in. So now we're going to move over to the hive. Alright, as I said before, I may not have a lot of in-frame shots since I don't have Andy to help me out. But all I'm really going to be doing is pulling off the excess pollen patties that I put on yesterday. Apparently if you put out too much at a time, it turns into hive beetle bait, which we do not need. And I almost knocked my bottle off raising that cover like that. Put that back in there where it goes. There we go. It will also be interesting to see how much of this they consume in a day. And the hive is quite loud again today. I don't know if you can hear it from up there. But I'm going to give us a little smoke under here. given from the amount of racket they're making, I may not be able to remove a lot of this, but I think I could manage. Yeah, that is way too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove probably 2/3 of what I've put out. That is way too much. So hopefully we can keep things kind of in frame. Brought some parchment paper. So I can wrap up what I take off and give it to them later on. I think the first thing I'm going to do is just pull off this large bundle right here. They definitely do not need that much. And I think I'm going to pull off the other large one as well. And then I'll just redistribute those two small patties, because I really can't tell if they've done anything with that at all. So we'll go ahead and see if we can get most of them off the top of the hive here. Some of them are kind of disliking the smoke there. Of course, I'm sure I'd be disliking somebody smoking my house. And that's got everybody off of this piece as well. I think most of what disappeared off of this one was actually attached to the top. So let's put out a small piece of parchment. For them to work on. I didn't like putting it on the frames, but you know, that's part of the learning process. I've never used pollen patties before, so I guess I've now learned my first lesson as far as that's concerned. So we'll put this on here. Get this off of the top of the frames. Maybe even flatten it out a little bit more for them. And we'll lay that on top so that it doesn't stick to my inner lid. Now they'll still have access to it between the layers there. And let me clean off a little bit more of this. Not entirely sure. I'm going to have to read the ingredients on the bucket that this came out of, but it looks to me like it's mostly sugar. I could be wrong, and I could be right. I just don't know. Again, this is a journey of learning for me. I hope other people can benefit from it. I've benefited from the advice I was given by some of the YouTube viewers, which I appreciate. So tomorrow we'll be doing the revisit this, check on our queen, and if they're not trying to kill her, we're going to release her, and hopefully she will start laying boatloads of new brood. And I have put that right in the way of the ventilation, so that's going to have to move. Maybe I can not block so much of it by bringing it up here. That'll at least allow some of the ventilation. Yeah, that opens up almost all the ventilation on that. Alright, and put the lid back on. I will take our overzealous pollen patty allotment, and we will return with that when this is taken up. So there's one good lesson learned about putting out pollen patties. Also, I'm not even sure if these pollen patties are of very high quality. I was reading the label as to how to store, and according to what's on the label, these have not exactly been stored correctly. It has definitely reached, I think it said to store in under 75 degrees, or maybe it was 85. I'll have to reread the label, but I definitely believe it has not been stored properly. I didn't have the time to read it when I bought the surplus from the gal, and hopefully it's not going to be a problem for my bees. That would be a pity to end up poisoning them with something I thought was food for them. So we'll dig into that tonight, do a little more research, and we'll be back tomorrow to check on the queen and hopefully set her loose. I guess it's the YouTuber siren, like and subscribe. I'll see y'all tomorrow.